Hello, and welcome to Calm Science Nights. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight. Before we begin our journey into the world of dreams and sleep, if you find comfort in drifting off to the soothing rhythm of scientific discovery, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps us create more of these peaceful explorations together. Now, settle into your most comfortable position. Let your pillow cradle your head, feel the weight of your body sinking into the mattress, and allow your breathing to find its own gentle, natural rhythm. Tonight, we're going to explore one of the most mysterious and beautiful processes your body performs every single night: the journey through sleep and the fascinating science of why we dream. Over the next 100 facts, we'll trace humanity's understanding of sleep from ancient mysteries to modern revelations, discovering what happens in the quiet darkness when consciousness fades and dreams begin. There's no need to stay awake for all of it. In fact, the greatest compliment you could give is to let sleep take you whenever it wishes. Just allow these words to wash over you like gentle waves, carrying you peacefully toward rest. Close your eyes now, and imagine yourself in a place of perfect comfort and safety. As you lie here, your brain is already beginning an extraordinary transformation, preparing for a journey it will take you on several times tonight, a journey through distinct stages of sleep, each one essential, each one remarkable in its own way. Our story begins with a simple but profound question that humans have asked since the beginning of recorded history: why do we sleep at all? For centuries, sleep seemed like wasted time, an inconvenient pause in productivity that left us vulnerable and unconscious. But in 1953, a discovery at the University of Chicago changed everything. Two researchers, Eugene Aserinsky and Nathaniel Kleitman, were studying sleep patterns when they noticed something extraordinary happening beneath the closed eyelids of sleeping subjects. The eyes were moving rapidly, darting back and forth as if watching something invisible. They called this phenomenon rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. And this single observation opened the door to understanding that sleep wasn't simply the absence of wakefulness, it was an active, complex process with distinct stages, each serving crucial functions we were only beginning to comprehend. What Aserinsky and Kleitman discovered was that sleep follows a predictable cycle, repeating approximately every 90 minutes throughout the night. This 90-minute cycle became the foundation of modern sleep science, revealing that our nights are structured into 4 to 6 complete cycles, each one a journey through different depths of consciousness. Understanding this rhythm helped explain why we sometimes wake feeling refreshed after a shorter sleep if we've completed full cycles, while longer sleep that interrupts a cycle midway can leave us feeling groggy and disoriented. Your brain, even now as you listen, is preparing to guide you through these cycles with remarkable precision, following a pattern as old as humanity itself. The journey into sleep begins with the first stage, a brief transitional period that typically lasts just 5 to 10 minutes. During this stage, which sleep scientists call N1 or Stage 1, your brain waves begin to slow from their wakeful beta rhythm to the gentler alpha and theta waves. This is the twilight zone between waking and sleeping, where you might experience sudden muscle jerks called hypnic jerks, those strange sensations of falling that sometimes startle you just as you're drifting off. These jerks occur because as your muscles relax and your brain waves slow, there's sometimes a brief miscommunication between the systems that control muscle tone and the parts of your brain monitoring body position. It's completely normal, a small glitch in the elegant transition your body makes from movement to stillness. During this first stage, you're easily awakened, And if someone woke you, you might not even believe you'd been asleep at all. But if you're left undisturbed, you drift deeper into stage 2 sleep, which comprises about 45 to 55% of your total sleep time, nearly half of every night you'll ever sleep. This stage is where true sleep begins. Your heart rate slows, your body temperature drops slightly, and your brain begins to produce distinctive patterns called sleep spindles and K-complexes. These aren't just interesting neural signatures, they're actually your brain actively processing and consolidating memories from your day. Sleep spindles, which are brief bursts of rapid brain activity, appear to play a crucial role in transferring information from short-term memory to long-term storage. Research has shown that people who produce more sleep spindles tend to perform better on memory tests, as if these little electrical storms are literally weaving your experiences into the permanent fabric of who you are. Even now, as sleep approaches, your brain is preparing to sort through today's experiences, deciding what to keep and what to discard. After perhaps 10 to 25 minutes in stage 2, you descend into the deepest waters of sleep, stage 3. Also called slow-wave sleep or deep sleep. This is the most restorative stage, and it's dominated by delta waves, the slowest and largest brain waves you'll produce. During deep sleep, your brain waves slow to just 1 to 4 cycles per second, compared to the 15 to 30 cycles per second of your waking mind. It's during this deep sleep stage that your body performs some of its most critical maintenance work. Growth hormone is released, stimulating tissue growth and muscle repair. Your immune system strengthens itself, producing cytokines that fight infection and inflammation. Blood pressure drops, giving your cardiovascular system a much-needed rest. Deep sleep is so restorative that if you're deprived of it specifically, you'll feel exhausted even if you've slept many hours, because this is when the physical restoration truly happens. Scientists have discovered that deep sleep typically dominates the first third of the night, with most of your slow-wave sleep occurring in your first 2 or 3 cycles, as if your body prioritizes this essential maintenance before moving on to other work. But perhaps the most fascinating stage awaits at the end of each 90-minute cycle. REM sleep, the stage where most vivid dreaming occurs. Your first REM period of the night might last only 5 to 10 minutes, appearing roughly 90 minutes after you first fall asleep. But something remarkable happens. With each subsequent cycle through the night, your REM periods grow progressively longer. By the final cycle before morning, you might spend 30 to 60 minutes in REM sleep, which is why the most vivid, memorable, and often bizarre dreams tend to happen in the early morning hours, just before you wake. During REM sleep, your brain becomes almost as active as when you're awake, consuming nearly the same amount of energy, processing information, and generating the rich sensory experiences we call dreams. What makes REM sleep particularly extraordinary is what happens to your body during this stage. While your brain blazes with activity, your voluntary muscles become temporarily paralyzed, a condition called REM-atonia. This paralysis is protective, preventing you from physically acting out your dreams. The mechanism is elegant. Your brainstem sends signals that inhibit motor neurons, effectively disconnecting your muscles from your brain's commands. Only your diaphragm continues to move for breathing, and your eyes remain free to dart and dance beneath your eyelids. Scientists believe this is why we discovered REM sleep in the first place. The eyes remain the visible window into this hidden world of neural activity. Occasionally, this paralysis system doesn't work perfectly, which explains why sometimes you might mumble or twitch during dreams, or in rare conditions, people can act out their dreams more dramatically. But for most of us, most of the time, we lie perfectly still while our minds conjure entire universes. The discovery of these sleep stages raised an even deeper question. Why does REM sleep and dreaming exist at all? What purpose could these nightly hallucinations possibly serve? One of the most influential theories emerged in the 1970s and 1980s from the work of psychiatrists J. Allen Hobson and Robert McCarley. They proposed that dreams are the brain's attempt to make sense of random neural firing that occurs during REM sleep. The brainstem sends chaotic signals upward, and the cortex, the part of your brain that creates meaning and narrative, does what it does best. It weaves these random signals into stories. This explained why dreams are often bizarre and illogical, why you can fly or breathe underwater or talk to people long gone, why the laws of physics and time dissolve. Your storytelling mind is working with random material, creating narratives from neural noise, and the result is the strange, compelling theater of dreams. But other researchers proposed something deeper. Perhaps dreams aren't just meaningless noise. Perhaps they serve crucial psychological functions. The threat simulation theory, developed by Finnish psychologist Antti Revonsuo, suggests that dreams evolved as a kind of virtual reality system for practicing responses to dangerous situations. Notice how often dreams involve threats, being chased, falling, losing something important, facing conflicts or challenges. In our ancestral environment, these nighttime rehearsals might have improved our ability to handle real dangers during waking hours. Your brain, safely paralyzed in your bed, runs simulations, testing responses, preparing you for challenges you might never face but for which you're now somehow ready. And so the foundation was laid. The discovery of sleep stages cycling every 90 minutes, the progression from light to deep to REM sleep, the mysterious paralysis that protects us from our dreams, and the first theories about why our minds create these nightly stories. Each cycle through the night is a journey, a carefully orchestrated process that has shaped every human life since the beginning of our species. Feel your own body now, beginning its descent through these same stages, following the ancient rhythm. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. Your brain knows exactly what to do, and it's already begun. Let yourself drift, knowing that remarkable processes are unfolding, preparing you for dreams you may or may not remember, but which serve you nonetheless. As our understanding of sleep stages deepened through the latter half of the 20th century, researchers began to ask more specific questions about what was actually happening inside the sleeping brain. This curiosity led to one of the most important discoveries in modern neuroscience, the revelation that sleep isn't just a time of rest, but a time of extraordinary activity and maintenance, particularly when it comes to memory and learning. In the 1990s, scientists at Harvard Medical School conducted a fascinating experiment that would reshape our understanding of why we sleep. They taught volunteers a simple visual task, identifying patterns on a computer screen, and then tested their performance after various intervals of sleep and wakefulness. What they discovered was remarkable. People who slept after learning the task showed significant improvement in their performance the next day, while those who stayed awake showed little to no improvement. But even more intriguing was what happened when they looked at the specific sleep stages. The improvement wasn't correlated with total sleep time. It was specifically linked to the amount of REM sleep and stage 2 sleep people experienced. It was as if these sleep stages were actively replaying and refining the neural pathways formed during learning, strengthening them, making them more efficient. Sleep wasn't just passively preserving memories, it was actively transforming them, a process scientists now call memory consolidation. This discovery connected beautifully with observations that had puzzled researchers for years. Studies of rats navigating mazes had shown something extraordinary. During sleep, the exact same neural patterns that fired when the rats were running through the maze would replay, but at a faster speed, roughly 7 to 10 times faster than the original experience. It was as if the brain was reviewing the day's important events on fast forward, over and over, burning them more deeply into memory. In humans, researchers found similar patterns. Brain imaging studies showed that regions activated during learning a task would spontaneously reactivate during subsequent sleep, particularly during REM sleep and stage 2 sleep with its characteristic sleep spindles. Your brain, it seemed, was studying while you slept, rehearsing and refining without any conscious effort on your part. But memory consolidation was just the beginning. Another crucial function of sleep began to emerge from research in the early 2000s, and it was something no one had anticipated. Dr. Maiken Nedergaard and her team at the University of Rochester made a groundbreaking discovery about what they called the glymphatic system, a waste clearance system in the brain that operates primarily during sleep. They found that during sleep, particularly during deep sleep, the spaces between brain cells actually expand by about 60%, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flush through the brain tissue like a cleaning tide. This fluid carries away metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours, including a protein called beta amyloid, which is associated with Alzheimer's disease when it builds up in the brain. The brain, it turned out, was using sleep time to take out the trash, clearing away cellular debris that could otherwise accumulate and cause damage. This discovery provided a compelling answer to why we need sleep. Your brain cannot effectively clean itself while you're awake, and all those neural pathways are busy with active thinking. The glymphatic system's activity explained another long-observed phenomenon: why sleep deprivation feels so terrible and impairs thinking so dramatically. When you stay awake too long, these toxic metabolic byproducts accumulate in your brain, literally gumming up the works. Studies measuring cognitive performance after sleep deprivation showed that even one night of poor sleep could impair attention and memory as much as being legally intoxicated. After 24 hours without sleep, cognitive impairment is roughly equivalent to having a blood alcohol content of 0.1%, above the legal driving limit in most places. Your brain, swimming in its own metabolic waste without the cleansing action of sleep, simply cannot function at its best. This is why you feel foggy and slow after a sleepless night. The fog is quite literal, a buildup of cellular debris that hasn't been washed away. As research continued, scientists made another fascinating discovery about the architecture of sleep across the night. While we've learned that sleep cycles repeat every 90 minutes, the composition of those cycles changes dramatically as the night progresses. The first cycle of the night might contain 20 to 25 minutes of deep, slow-wave sleep, but only 5 to 10 minutes of REM sleep. But watch what happens as the night unfolds. With each successive cycle, deep sleep becomes shorter and REM sleep becomes longer. By your final sleep cycle before morning, you might have almost no deep sleep at all, but 30 to 40 minutes of continuous REM sleep. It's as if your brain has a prioritized to-do list, physical restoration and waste clearance first, handled primarily in deep sleep during the early night, followed by memory consolidation and emotional processing, handled primarily in REM sleep during the later hours. This changing architecture explains why being woken up at different times of night feels different. An awakening during the first few hours interrupts crucial physical restoration, while an awakening in the early morning hours interrupts extended REM periods where your most complex memory processing and dreaming occurs. This understanding of sleep's changing character across the night connected to another remarkable discovery about REM sleep and emotional processing. Researchers noticed that REM sleep seemed particularly important for processing emotional experiences and traumatic memories. Studies showed that people deprived specifically of REM sleep showed increased emotional reactivity and difficulty regulating emotions the next day, while those allowed normal REM sleep showed better emotional balance. The theory that emerged was elegant. During REM sleep, the brain reactivates emotional memories but does so in a neurochemical environment quite different from waking. Norepinephrine, a stress-related chemical that's normally present during emotional experiences, drops to nearly zero during REM sleep. This allows the brain to replay emotional memories without the full emotional charge, gradually separating the factual memory of an event from its emotional intensity. It's why, when something upsetting happens, people often say sleep on it, and why that advice actually works. Sleep, particularly REM sleep, helps strip away some of the emotional sting while preserving the memory itself, a process sometimes called emotional first aid. This emotional processing function of REM sleep has profound implications for mental health. Research into conditions like depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder has revealed that sleep disruption, particularly REM sleep disruption, is almost universal in these conditions. People with PTSD often experience nightmares and fragmented REM sleep, as if the trauma is too intense for the normal emotional processing system to handle, or as if the brain keeps trying to process the trauma but cannot complete the work. Conversely, improving sleep quality often improves symptoms of depression and anxiety. Some researchers now believe that one reason antidepressant medications work is because many of them alter REM sleep patterns, potentially helping the brain finally process and integrate difficult emotional experiences that had been stuck in a repetitive loop. Your nightly journey through REM sleep, with its combination of intense neural activity and reduced stress chemicals, serves as a form of overnight therapy, helping you wake each morning slightly better equipped to handle emotional challenges. The more scientists studied sleep, the more they realized that different types of learning and memory seem to be processed during different sleep stages. Procedural memories, how to ride a bike, play a musical instrument, or type on a keyboard, showed the strongest correlation with stage 2 sleep and its sleep spindles. Declarative memories, facts, events, names, dates, seem to benefit most from slow-wave sleep in the early night. Emotional and social memories appeared to require REM sleep for proper integration. It was as if your brain had different filing systems for different types of information, and each sleep stage accessed different files, organizing and strengthening specific types of knowledge. This explained why a full night of sleep, cycling through all stages multiple times, was so much more effective for learning than a few hours of partial sleep. You needed the complete cycle, the full journey through all stages, to process all the different types of information your day had provided. Perhaps one of the most poetic discoveries about sleep and dreams came from studying the content of dreams across different sleep stages. While REM dreams are typically vivid, bizarre, and story-like, the dreams you remember and recount, researchers found that people report dream-like mental activity even during non-REM sleep stages, though the quality differs dramatically. Stage 2 dreams tend to be more thought-like, more mundane, closer to waking cognition. Deep sleep dreams, when they occur at all, are often vague and fragmentary. But REM dreams have a quality all their own. They're immersive, sensory-rich, emotionally intense, and narratively complex. The difference appears to be related to which parts of the brain are most active. During REM sleep, the visual cortex, the emotional centers like the amygdala, and the motor planning regions are all highly active, while the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, planning, and self-awareness, is relatively quiet. This explains why dreams feel so real while you're in them but seem absurd when you wake. You're experiencing them with full sensory and emotional intensity but without the critical thinking that would question their impossibility. You're living in a world where your emotional and sensory brain is running the show, unchecked by logic. And so the picture grew richer and more intricate. Sleep as memory consolidation, as brain cleansing, as emotional therapy, each stage serving its purpose, the cycles changing across the night in a carefully orchestrated dance. Your sleeping brain isn't resting. It's working in ways your waking mind never could, organizing, cleaning, healing, preparing you for tomorrow. Feel yourself sinking deeper now, your own brain beginning this ancient work, your own cycles starting to turn. There's wisdom in this surrender to sleep, a trust in processes far older and wiser than conscious thought. Let go, and let your brain do what it has always done, what it will always do, tending to you through the quiet hours of the night. As the 20th century drew to a close and new technologies allowed scientists to peer ever more deeply into the sleeping brain, another profound question emerged. If sleep and dreaming are so essential, how did they evolve? What is it about the sleeping brain that was so important that nearly every animal on Earth does it, despite the vulnerability it creates? This question led researchers on a fascinating journey through the animal kingdom, revealing that sleep is far more ancient and fundamental than anyone had imagined. Studies of animals across species revealed something astonishing. Virtually every creature with a nervous system sleeps in some form, from insects to fish to birds to mammals. Even fruit flies, with their tiny brains containing only about 100,000 neurons, show clear sleep behavior, periods of prolonged immobility, reduced responsiveness to stimuli, and a rebound effect if deprived of rest. But what fascinated researchers most was the discovery that REM sleep, which had seemed like such a sophisticated mammalian phenomenon, might have evolutionary roots going back hundreds of millions of years. Birds experience REM sleep, though in much shorter bursts than mammals. Some researchers have even found evidence suggesting that certain reptiles might experience a primitive form of REM sleep. This implies that the neural mechanisms underlying dreaming might have emerged very early in vertebrate evolution, perhaps 300 million years ago or more, suggesting that whatever function REM sleep serves must be absolutely fundamental to brain function. The discovery of REM sleep across species led to another fascinating observation about sleep patterns in different animals. They vary enormously based on an animal's ecological niche and survival needs. Dolphins and whales, for instance, have evolved a remarkable solution to the problem of sleeping while needing to surface regularly to breathe. They sleep with only half their brain at a time, a phenomenon called unihemispheric sleep. One hemisphere enters slow-wave sleep while the other remains awake, monitoring the environment and controlling breathing. After a period of time, the sides switch. Even more intriguing, these marine mammals show almost no REM sleep at all, or if they do, it's in such brief amounts that researchers have struggled to detect it. This raised a puzzling question. If REM sleep is so essential for memory consolidation and emotional processing in humans, how do dolphins manage with almost none? The answer remains unclear, but it suggests that either dolphins have evolved alternative mechanisms for the functions REM sleep serves in other mammals, or that their cognitive and emotional processing needs are fundamentally different from ours. In contrast to dolphins, some animals are prodigious sleepers. Brown bats sleep approximately 19 to 20 hours per day, while giant armadillos can sleep up to 18 hours. Interestingly, there's a rough correlation between sleep duration and metabolic rate. Smaller animals with faster metabolisms tend to sleep more, possibly because their intense energy expenditure creates more metabolic waste that needs clearing, or because their rapid neural activity requires more recovery time. Humans, sleeping about 7 to 9 hours per night, fall somewhere in the middle of the mammalian sleep spectrum. But what became clear from comparative sleep research was that there's no correct amount of sleep that applies across species. Each animal has evolved the sleep pattern that best balances the restorative functions of sleep against the risks of vulnerability and the demands of survival. These comparative studies illuminated another crucial discovery about human sleep. It's not just the quantity that matters, but the timing and consistency. Research into circadian rhythms, the roughly 24-hour internal biological cycles that govern sleep and wakefulness, revealed that humans have an internal master clock located in a tiny region of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. This cluster of about 20,000 neurons sits just above where the optic nerves cross, perfectly positioned to receive information about light levels. The SCN acts as your body's conductor, coordinating the timing of countless biological processes: body temperature, hormone release, digestion, and of course, sleep and wake cycles. Without any external time cues, in complete isolation, the human circadian rhythm runs slightly longer than 24 hours, typically about 24 hours and 15 minutes to 24 hours and 30 minutes. This is why we need external cues, particularly light, to keep our internal clock synchronized with the Earth's rotation. The SCN responds to morning light by sending signals throughout the body that say it's daytime, be alert, and to evening darkness by allowing the pineal gland to release melatonin, the hormone that promotes sleep. The discovery of melatonin's role in sleep regulation was itself a breakthrough in understanding how sleep is initiated. Melatonin, sometimes called the hormone of darkness, begins to rise in the bloodstream about 2 hours before your natural bedtime, reaching peak levels in the middle of the night. It doesn't make you sleep directly. It's more like a gentle signal that tells your body night has fallen. It's time to prepare for rest. Levels then decrease toward morning, dropping to barely detectable amounts during daylight hours. What's fascinating is that melatonin production is exquisitely sensitive to light, particularly blue wavelength light. Even relatively dim light exposure in the evening, especially from electronic screens, can suppress melatonin release and delay sleep onset. Studies have shown that exposure to bright light in the evening can shift your circadian rhythm later by an hour or more, while morning light exposure can shift it earlier. This explained why people who travel across time zones experience jet lag. Their internal SCN is still synchronized to their home time zone, producing melatonin at the wrong time relative to the local day-night cycle. It takes about 1 day per time zone crossed for the circadian system to fully resynchronize, which is why traveling eastward, which requires advancing your clock, typically feels harder than traveling westward, which requires delaying it. Building on this understanding of circadian rhythms, researchers made another important discovery about individual differences in sleep timing preferences. Not everyone's internal clock runs at the same pace or synchronizes to the light-dark cycle in the same way. Some people are natural larks or morning types. Their circadian rhythm runs slightly faster than 24 hours, making them naturally inclined to wake early and sleep early. Others are owls or evening types. Their rhythm runs slower, making them naturally inclined to stay up late and sleep late. These preferences, called chronotypes, have a strong genetic component. Studies of twins showed that chronotype is about 50% heritable, controlled by variations in the genes that regulate circadian clock mechanisms. Adolescents, interestingly, undergo a temporary shift toward an evening chronotype during puberty, which is why teenagers naturally want to stay up late and sleep late. It's not rebellion or laziness, but biology. Their circadian rhythm has temporarily shifted later, typically by about 2 hours, making early school start times particularly challenging for their developing brains. This shift reverses in the early 20s, gradually moving toward a more moderate timing as people age, and then often shifting earlier again in older adulthood. The understanding of chronotypes in individual sleep needs connected to another vital discovery: sleep debt is real, cumulative, and cannot be easily paid back. Researchers who studied people allowed to sleep only 4 to 6 hours per night found that their cognitive performance steadily declined day after day, even though the subjects themselves reported feeling only moderately sleepy. After 2 weeks of sleeping 6 hours per night, people's performance on attention and cognitive tests was equivalent to someone who had been awake for 2 full nights straight, yet they rated themselves as only slightly sleepy. This revealed a troubling truth: you can become accustomed to the feeling of sleep deprivation, but your brain doesn't become accustomed to functioning well on insufficient sleep. You adapt to feeling impaired, which means you lose the ability to accurately judge how impaired you are. The sleep debt accumulates silently, degrading performance in ways you no longer notice. Moreover, while you can partially recover from short-term sleep loss by sleeping longer, chronic sleep restriction over weeks or months creates deficits that aren't fully reversed even with several nights of extended sleep. Your brain needs consistent, adequate sleep night after night, not occasional recovery binges. This research into sleep debt led to investigations of what happens in the brain during different levels of sleepiness and alertness. Scientists discovered that sleepiness isn't just one uniform state, it's regulated by the interaction of 2 separate biological processes. The first is the circadian rhythm we've discussed, which creates predictable waves of alertness and sleepiness across the day. The second is called sleep pressure or homeostatic sleep drive, which builds up continuously the longer you're awake. A chemical called adenosine accumulates in your brain throughout your waking hours, binding to receptors that gradually slow neural activity and promote sleepiness. The longer you're awake, the more adenosine builds up, creating increasing pressure to sleep. When you finally sleep, adenosine is cleared away, and you wake with sleep pressure reset to low levels. These two systems, circadian rhythm and sleep pressure, work together. Your circadian rhythm creates a strong wake-promoting signal during the day that counteracts building adenosine levels, which is why you can stay alert for many hours despite accumulating sleep pressure. But in the late evening, as the circadian wake signal fades and melatonin rises, the adenosine pressure is no longer opposed, and sleepiness floods in. Interestingly, this is also why caffeine works. Caffeine molecules are shaped similarly enough to adenosine that they can block adenosine receptors, temporarily preventing adenosine from signaling sleepiness, though the adenosine itself continues to accumulate, waiting for the caffeine to wear off. And so we've traced sleep across the tree of life, from ancient origins hundreds of millions of years ago, through dolphins sleeping with half their brain and bats sleeping almost constantly, to the intricate dance of human circadian rhythms, the gentle rise of melatonin and darkness, the variations that make some of us morning people and others night owls, and the invisible accumulation of sleep debt that can cloud our minds without our awareness. We've learned of adenosine building quietly through the day, creating pressure toward rest, toward the restorative darkness where all these processes can complete their essential work. Perhaps you can feel that adenosine now, that gentle chemical pressure, your own circadian rhythm settling towards sleep, your own melatonin beginning its nightly rise. These aren't just abstract concepts, they're processes unfolding in your body right now, ancient mechanisms that have served countless generations before you. Trust them. Let them carry you. Your brain knows the way. As scientists deepen their exploration of the sleeping brain in the early 21st century, new imaging technologies open windows that previous generations could never have imagined. Functional MRI machines allowed researchers to watch the living brain as it cycled through sleep stages, revealing patterns of activity that transformed our understanding of what the dreaming mind is actually doing. One of the most striking discoveries came from examining which brain regions are active during REM sleep and dreaming. While the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic and self-awareness, remains relatively quiet, researchers found that the limbic system, your brain's emotional center, becomes extraordinarily active during REM sleep. The amygdala, which processes fear and other strong emotions, shows activity levels during REM sleep that can actually exceed waking levels. This explains something that had puzzled dream researchers for decades: why dreams are so often emotionally intense, even when the content seems mundane or absurd. You might dream about missing a bus or losing your keys, situations that wouldn't be particularly emotional in waking life, yet in the dream they feel urgent, frightening, or deeply significant. Your emotional brain is running at full intensity while your logical brain sleeps, so even trivial scenarios get painted with dramatic emotional colors. But the imaging studies revealed something even more intriguing. The visual cortex during REM sleep shows patterns of activation remarkably similar to waking vision. When you dream of seeing a face, the regions of your visual cortex that process faces light up. When you dream of walking through a landscape, the motion processing areas activate. Your brain is generating a visual experience from the inside out, creating imagery without any input from your eyes, which remain closed in the darkness of your bedroom. This internal visual generation is so convincing that during the dream itself, you have no doubt you're actually seeing. The brain regions that distinguish between internally generated imagery and external perception are suppressed during REM sleep, which is why dreams feel absolutely real while you're experiencing them. You're not imagining the dream. From your brain's perspective, you're experiencing it as genuine sensory reality. This understanding of the brain's sensory activation during dreams connected to another fascinating line of research, lucid dreaming, the state where you become aware that you're dreaming while the dream continues. Lucid dreamers report being able to recognize the dream state and sometimes even control aspects of the dream narrative. Studies of lucid dreamers using EEG and brain imaging revealed something remarkable. During lucid dreams, the prefrontal cortex, that logical, self-aware part of the brain that's normally quiet during REM sleep, shows increased activity, though not quite to waking levels. It's as if consciousness partly awakens while the dream machinery continues to run. Even more fascinating, researchers discovered they could communicate with lucid dreamers during REM sleep. In experiments, lucid dreamers were instructed to signal when they became aware they were dreaming by making a specific pattern of eye movements, perhaps looking left twice, then right twice. Since eye muscles aren't paralyzed during REM sleep, these movements could be detected on the EEG. When dreamers made these signals, researchers could ask simple yes or no questions, with the dreamers responding using predetermined eye movement codes. For the first time, scientists could establish two-way communication with someone actively dreaming, opening extraordinary possibilities for studying the subjective experience of dreams from inside the dream itself. The exploration of consciousness during sleep led to investigations of that mysterious transitional state between waking and sleeping called hypnagogia, those strange, often vivid experiences that occur as you're falling asleep. Many people report seeing faces, hearing voices, or experiencing bizarre thoughts during this twilight period. Research showed that during hypnagogia, your brain is in a unique state where different regions are at different levels of sleep. Parts of your sensory cortex might be generating dreamlike imagery while parts of your awareness remain semi-conscious, able to observe these images with partial wakefulness. The experience can be unsettling, seeing vivid faces or scenes appear before your closed eyes, hearing your name called when no one is there, but it's a completely normal part of the transition into sleep. The boundary between waking and dreaming isn't a sharp line but a gradual blending, a slow dimming of conscious awareness as dream-generating systems begin to activate. Some of history's great discoveries and artistic creations emerged from this state. Salvador Dali famously used hypnagogic imagery in his surrealist paintings, and chemist Auguste Kekulé reported that the structure of the benzene ring came to him in a hypnagogic vision of a snake biting its own tail. As research progressed, scientists made another crucial discovery about the content of dreams and what they reveal about memory processing. In studies where people were taught new tasks during the day and then awakened during REM sleep to report their dreams, researchers found that about 60 to 70% of REM dreams contain some element related to the waking experiences of the previous day. But the incorporation was rarely direct or literal. If someone spent the afternoon playing Tetris, they might dream of falling geometric shapes, but embedded in completely different contexts, perhaps blocks falling during a conversation with a friend, or geometric patterns appearing in a landscape. This suggested that the sleeping brain doesn't simply replay experiences, it extracts patterns, themes, and emotional elements, then recombines them with other memories in novel ways. Dreams, it appeared, were a kind of creative memory workshop, breaking experiences down into components and rebuilding them in new configurations, perhaps strengthening the most useful associations while discarding irrelevant details. This creative recombination process connected to another remarkable finding about sleep and creativity. Studies where people were given creative problem-solving tasks showed that sleep, particularly REM sleep, dramatically enhanced creative solutions. In one famous study, participants were taught a mathematical task that could be solved through a laborious method, but there was also a hidden shortcut that made the problem much easier. People who slept after learning the task were more than twice as likely to discover the hidden shortcut compared to those who stayed awake. REM sleep seemed to facilitate the kind of distant associations and novel connections that characterize creative insight. Your dreaming brain, freed from the constraints of logic and linear thinking, makes connections your waking mind would never consider, some absurd and useless, but some brilliant and novel. This is why people throughout history have reported creative breakthroughs coming in a dream or upon awakening. Paul McCartney claimed the melody for Yesterday came to him in a dream. Dmitri Mendeleev reportedly saw the periodic table of elements in a dream. Whether these stories are literally true or not, they reflect a genuine phenomenon. Sleep facilitates the kind of associative thinking that generates creative solutions. The understanding of REM sleep's role in creativity led researchers to investigate what happens to creativity and problem-solving when REM sleep is disrupted. Studies of people suffering from depression revealed a complex relationship between REM sleep and mood disorders. Many people with depression show what's called REM pressure. They enter REM sleep much more quickly than normal, sometimes within 30 to 45 minutes of sleep onset rather than the typical 90 minutes, and their REM periods are more intense and longer. It's as if the brain is desperately trying to process something, entering the emotional processing stage of sleep prematurely and spending excessive time there. Some researchers theorize that in depression, the emotional processing function of REM sleep becomes stuck in a repetitive loop, rehearsing negative thoughts and emotions without successfully resolving them. Interestingly, one of the most rapidly effective treatments for severe depression is total sleep deprivation, keeping someone awake for an entire night. About 60% of people with depression show immediate improvement in mood after sleep deprivation, though the effect is temporary and depression typically returns after the next normal night's sleep. The reason this works remains debated, but one theory is that sleep deprivation breaks the dysfunctional REM cycle, giving the system a kind of reset. However, this is not a sustainable treatment, as chronic sleep deprivation creates severe problems of its own. Perhaps one of the most practically important discoveries in sleep science relates to what researchers call sleep inertia, that groggy, disoriented feeling you sometimes experience upon waking, when your mind feels clouded and slow. Studies measuring cognitive performance immediately after awakening showed that sleep inertia can significantly impair judgment and decision-making for anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes after waking, sometimes even longer if awakened from deep sleep. The effect is so pronounced that some researchers compare it to being mildly intoxicated. What's happening is that different brain systems wake up at different rates. Your brainstem, which controls basic arousal and wakefulness, might activate quickly, getting you physically out of bed, but your prefrontal cortex, responsible for complex thinking and decision-making, takes longer to reach full function. This explained a troubling pattern observed in medical errors and accidents. A disproportionate number occur in the first few minutes after someone is awakened suddenly. Doctors called to emergencies in the middle of the night. Pilots awaken to respond to in-flight problems. Emergency responders roused from sleep. Their bodies are awake, but their judgment is still partly asleep. The discovery of sleep inertia led to recommendations that critical decisions, when possible, should be delayed for at least 15 to 20 minutes after awakening to allow the brain to fully transition to wakefulness. And so we've watched the sleeping brain light up in the scanner, emotional centers blazing during dreams, visual cortex painting scenes now I can see, the prefrontal cortex dimming to let creativity dance in the spaces logic left behind. We've learned of lucid dreamers signaling from inside their dreams, of hypnagogia's twilight visions, of memories dissolving and recombining into something new each night. We've seen how sleep can unlock creativity or trap us in loops of rumination, and how our waking minds emerge gradually from sleep's embrace, not all at once, but piece by piece, system by system. All of this is happening now, or soon will be, as you drift deeper. Your amygdala preparing to paint emotions across the canvas of your dreams, your visual cortex ready to conjure entire worlds from darkness, your prefrontal cortex settling into quietness, releasing its grip on logic and control. There's nothing to do but allow it, nothing to direct or manage. Your brain has done this 10,000 times before, and it will do it 10,000 times again, and each time is both familiar and utterly unique. As we continue our journey through the science of sleep and dreams, we arrive at one of the most practical and yet often overlooked aspects of this research: how modern life has fundamentally disrupted the sleep patterns that humans evolved over millions of years, and what this disruption costs us. For most of human history, sleep was governed almost entirely by natural light. Our ancestors woke with the sun and settled into sleep not long after darkness fell. But studies of pre-industrial societies and historical sleep patterns revealed something surprising. The 8-hour consolidated sleep block we consider normal today may actually be a relatively modern invention. Historical records from before the Industrial Revolution describe a pattern of first sleep and second sleep. People would sleep for 3 to 4 hours after darkness fell, then wake for an hour or two in the middle of the night, a period often used for prayer, reflection, quiet conversation, or intimacy, before returning to a second sleep that lasted until dawn. When researchers placed volunteers in conditions mimicking natural light patterns, darkness for 14 hours, daylight for 10, this biphasic sleep pattern spontaneously emerged within a few weeks. The period of wakefulness between the two sleep phases was characterized by unusually high levels of prolactin, a hormone associated with feelings of calm and contentment. This suggested that the middle-of-the-night awakening wasn't insomnia or dysfunction, but perhaps a natural part of human sleep architecture that electric lighting has erased from modern experience. The invention of electric lighting in the late 19th century marked a profound shift in human sleep patterns. For the first time in history, humans could extend their active hours well into the night regardless of natural light cycles. Studies comparing sleep duration before and after widespread electrification showed a dramatic decline. People in industrialized nations now sleep on average 1 to 2 hours less per night than their ancestors did just over a century ago. But the impact went beyond just duration. Artificial light exposure in the evening, particularly the blue wavelength light emitted by electronic screens, suppresses melatonin production far more effectively than the warm, flickering light of candles or fires that our ancestors used. Research has shown that 2 hours of evening exposure to bright tablet screens can suppress melatonin by about 22% and delay the circadian rhythm by up to 90 minutes. We are essentially telling our ancient circadian systems that the sun hasn't set yet, pushing our natural sleep time later and later, even as alarm clocks force us to wake at early, fixed times for work or school. This collision between modern schedules and ancient biology led to the concept of social jet lag, the misalignment between when your body wants to sleep based on its internal clock and when society demands you sleep based on work or school schedules. Research measuring this phenomenon found that more than 80% of people in industrialized nations rely on alarm clocks to wake up on workdays, indicating they're cutting their sleep short before their body is naturally ready to wake. The consequences are significant. Studies have found that each hour of social jet lag is associated with an increased risk of obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and depression. It's as if millions of people are living in a state of perpetual mild jet lag, week after week, year after year, with their internal biology constantly struggling to synchronize with external demands. As researchers documented these modern sleep disruptions, they also made important discoveries about individual variability in sleep needs. While the often cited recommendation is 7 to 9 hours for adults, the actual requirement varies substantially between individuals, largely due to genetic factors. Scientists identified several genes that influence sleep duration, including one called December 2nd. People with a particular variant of the December 2nd gene can function optimally on just 4 to 6 hours of sleep per night without any apparent negative effects. They're natural short sleepers, comprising perhaps less than 5% of the population. At the other end of the spectrum, some people genuinely need 9 to 10 hours to function at their best. The problem is that many people who are chronically sleep deprived, getting 6 hours when they need 8, adapt to feeling tired and convince themselves they're naturally short sleepers, when in fact their health and performance are quietly degrading. The true test, researchers found, is simple. If you need an alarm clock to wake up, you're probably not getting enough sleep. Natural short sleepers wake spontaneously after their shorter sleep duration, feeling refreshed and alert throughout the day. The investigation of individual sleep needs connected to another fascinating discovery about aging and sleep architecture. As people age, the structure of their sleep changes in predictable ways. Older adults spend significantly less time in deep, slow-wave sleep, the most restorative stage, and more time in lighter stage 1 and stage 2 sleep. By age 70, people may have 60 to 70% less slow-wave sleep than they did in their 20s. This partly explains why older adults often complain of less refreshing sleep and more frequent nighttime awakenings. But interestingly, total REM sleep remains relatively preserved with age, suggesting the brain continues to prioritize the memory consolidation and emotional processing functions of REM even as physical restoration through deep sleep diminishes. The reduction in deep sleep also relates to changes in the glymphatic system. Brain waste clearance becomes less efficient with age, which may contribute to the increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's in older populations. Some researchers now theorize that the decline in deep sleep and reduced brain cleaning might actually be one of the mechanisms connecting aging to cognitive decline. This connection between sleep quality and brain health led to groundbreaking research on sleep disorders and their long-term consequences. Sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep, affects an estimated 10 to 30% of adults, though many cases go undiagnosed. During apnea episodes, oxygen levels in the blood drop and the brain partially awakens to restart breathing, sometimes dozens or even hundreds of times per night. The person is usually unaware of these awakenings. They don't remember them in the morning, but their sleep is catastrophically fragmented. Studies following people with untreated sleep apnea over many years found alarming consequences: increased risk of hypertension, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. More recently, researchers discovered that sleep apnea accelerates the accumulation of beta amyloid and tau proteins in the brain, the hallmark pathological features of Alzheimer's disease. The mechanism appears to involve both the chronic oxygen deprivation and the disruption of deep sleep's waste-clearing function. Each night of fragmented sleep is a night when the brain's cleaning systems cannot do their work properly, allowing toxic proteins to accumulate incrementally over years and decades. Another sleep disorder that offered crucial insights into the brain's sleep mechanisms is narcolepsy, a condition affecting about 1 in 2,000 people. Narcolepsy is characterized by sudden, uncontrollable sleep attacks and a phenomenon called cataplexy, where strong emotions trigger sudden muscle paralysis, the same paralysis that normally occurs only during REM sleep, but happening while awake. Research into narcolepsy led to the discovery of orexin, also called hypocretin, a neurotransmitter produced by a small cluster of neurons in the hypothalamus. Orexin plays a crucial role in maintaining wakefulness and stabilizing the boundaries between sleep and wake states. People with narcolepsy type 1 have lost 90% or more of their orexin-producing neurons, though why this loss occurs remains unclear. The discovery of orexin transformed understanding of sleep regulation. Maintaining wakefulness isn't simply the absence of sleep signals, but requires active wake-promoting signals. When the orexin system fails, the brain cannot maintain stable wakefulness, and people slip involuntarily into sleep or REM-like states. This discovery opened new pathways for developing medications to treat both insomnia and excessive sleepiness by targeting the orexin system. The understanding of neurotransmitters and sleep regulation extended to other brain chemicals as well. Researchers mapped out an intricate network of wake-promoting and sleep-promoting neurotransmitters that interact in complex ways. Histamine, norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin all promote wakefulness, while GABA and adenosine promote sleep. These systems exist in a delicate balance, a push-pull dynamic that determines your state of consciousness at any given moment. This explained why so many medications affect sleep as a side effect. Antihistamines make you drowsy because blocking histamine removes a wake-promoting signal. Antidepressants that affect serotonin and norepinephrine often disrupt sleep architecture. Sleeping pills typically work by enhancing GABA, the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter, essentially amplifying the sleep-promoting side of the equation. But here's the crucial insight: medications that induce sleep don't replicate natural sleep. Studies comparing the brain activity of people who took sleeping pills versus those who slept naturally found significant differences in sleep architecture, less deep sleep, altered REM patterns, and different patterns of brain connectivity. People taking sleeping pills spend more time unconscious, but may not receive all the restorative benefits of natural sleep. And so we see how far we've drifted from the sleep our bodies were designed for, from the biphasic rhythms of our ancestors to the light-flooded evenings of modern life, from perfectly aligned circadian clocks to chronic social jet lag, from the gradual changes of aging to the disruptions of sleep disorders. We've learned of genes that determine whether you need 4 hours or 9, of orexin neurons that keep consciousness stable, of the delicate neurochemical balance between sleep and wake, and of how medications can bring unconsciousness but not quite bring natural sleep. Yet your body still knows the ancient pathways, still responds to darkness with rising melatonin, still cycles through the stages as it was designed to do. Despite all the disruptions of modern life, the fundamental machinery of sleep remains, patient and persistent, waiting for you to surrender to it. And you can feel it now, can't you? That gentle pull, that familiar downward drift, those systems engaging one by one, carrying you exactly where you need to go. As we move deeper into our exploration of sleep and dreams, we arrive at one of the most intriguing areas of recent research, the relationship between sleep, learning, and the remarkable plasticity of the brain, its ability to reorganize and form new connections throughout life. In the early 2000s, neuroscientists made a discovery that would fundamentally change how we think about sleep's role in learning. They found that learning a new skill during the day actually changes which brain regions are most active during subsequent sleep. In one elegant study, researchers taught participants to navigate a virtual maze, then scan their brains during sleep that night. The hippocampus, a region crucial for spatial memory and navigation, showed bursts of activity during both stage 2 and REM sleep, and remarkably, the amount of hippocampal activity during sleep correlated directly with how much the participants improved on the maze task the next day. It was as if the brain was replaying the maze experience during sleep, and the more it replayed, the better the consolidation. Even more fascinating, when researchers recorded individual neurons in rats learning a track, they found that the exact same neurons that fired in sequence as the rat ran the track would fire again in the same sequence during subsequent sleep, but compressed in time. A full minute of track running might be replayed in just 5 to 10 seconds during sleep. This time compression might explain why sleep is so efficient at consolidation. Your brain can review hours of experience in much shorter periods, practicing and strengthening the neural pathways over and over. This discovery of memory replay during sleep connected to another remarkable finding about what researchers call synaptic homeostasis, the idea that sleep serves to rebalance and optimize neural connections. During waking hours, as you learn and experience new things, synapses, the connections between neurons, strengthen and multiply. This is essential for learning, but it comes at a cost. Stronger synapses require more energy to maintain and take up more physical space. If this process continued unchecked, your brain would become overwhelmed with connections, consuming unsustainable amounts of energy. Researchers discovered that during sleep, particularly during slow-wave sleep, the brain enters a process of synaptic downscaling, weakening or pruning less important connections while preserving the most significant ones. Brain imaging studies showed that synaptic strength decreases by approximately 18 to 20% during sleep, but not uniformly. The most frequently activated and important connections are protected and may even strengthen further, while weaker, less relevant connections are scaled back. This process is like a sculptor removing excess marble to reveal the essential form. Sleep carves away the unnecessary to highlight what truly matters, making your neural networks more efficient and your memories more durable. The concept of synaptic homeostasis helped explain another puzzling phenomenon: why sleep deprivation makes it so difficult to form new memories. When you're sleep deprived, your synapses remain maximally potentiated from the previous day's learning. They're already full, so to speak, leaving no capacity to strengthen further in response to new information. Studies of sleep-deprived students showed that their hippocampus, normally highly active during learning, showed 40% less activation when trying to form new memories compared to well-rested students. It's not just that you're tired and can't pay attention, though that's also true, but that the cellular machinery of memory formation is saturated and cannot function properly. This explained why pulling an all-nighter before an exam is counterproductive. You might spend more hours studying, but your brain's actual ability to encode that information is severely compromised. As research into sleep and memory deepened, scientists made another surprising discovery about the specificity of sleep's memory consolidation. Not all memories are treated equally during sleep. The brain appears to selectively strengthen memories that have been tagged as important. In studies where participants learned information but were told that some of it would be tested while other information wouldn't, the brain preferentially consolidated the information marked as important, even though all the information was learned equally during waking hours. Even more remarkably, researchers found they could enhance specific memories during sleep using a technique called targeted memory reactivation. Participants would learn information while a particular sound or odor was present, for example, learning the locations of objects while a rose scent was delivered. Then, during subsequent slow-wave sleep, the same scent would be presented again. This subtle reminder, below the threshold of waking the person, reactivated the associated memories and led to significantly better recall the next day. The sleeping brain was cueing itself to replay and strengthen particular memories, guided by these external reminders it couldn't consciously perceive. This targeted memory reactivation research opened fascinating possibilities, but also revealed something profound about the nature of memory itself. Memories aren't static recordings but dynamic reconstructions that change each time they're accessed. Every time you remember something, you're not playing back a faithful recording but rebuilding the memory from scattered neural components, and in the process, the memory can be modified, updated, or integrated with new information. Sleep appears to be a critical period when this reconstruction and integration occurs. Dreams themselves might be windows into this process. The strange, recombinant nature of dreams, where elements from different time periods and contexts blend together, might reflect the brain actively forming new associations between memories, finding unexpected connections, and integrating isolated experiences into larger frameworks of understanding. That bizarre dream where your childhood home contains your current office, and your old teacher appears alongside your new colleague, isn't random nonsense. It might be your brain exploring connections between different memory networks, testing associations, building bridges between isolated islands of experience. The understanding of sleep's role in memory led researchers to investigate whether improving sleep could enhance learning in practical, real-world contexts. Studies in educational settings produced striking results. Students who received education about sleep hygiene and were encouraged to prioritize sleep showed significant improvements in academic performance, typically improving their grades by about 5 to 15%, simply from sleeping better, with no other changes to their study habits. Even more interesting were studies of napping and learning. A 90-minute nap that includes both slow-wave sleep and REM sleep can provide similar memory consolidation benefits to a full night's sleep, at least for information learned just before the nap. This explained the effectiveness of the nap and learn approach used by some students, though researchers caution that naps supplement but don't replace the need for regular nighttime sleep, which provides additional benefits beyond memory consolidation. The research into sleep and cognition also revealed important findings about the relationship between sleep and different types of intelligence. While memory consolidation was well established, researchers discovered that sleep plays a crucial role in what psychologists call fluid intelligence, the ability to solve novel problems, think abstractly, and identify patterns. Studies showed that even a single night of total sleep deprivation reduced fluid intelligence scores by an amount equivalent to what's normally seen in aging from 30 to 60 years old, a temporary but dramatic cognitive aging effect. The mechanism appears to involve the prefrontal cortex, which is particularly vulnerable to sleep loss. Brain scans of sleep-deprived individuals showed reduced activity in prefrontal regions during problem-solving tasks, forcing them to recruit additional brain areas to compensate, working harder for worse results. The subjective experience matches this finding. When you're sleep-deprived, simple problems feel complex, decisions that should be straightforward seem overwhelming, and your mind feels sluggish and inefficient. This isn't imagined, it's measurable impairment in your brain's highest cognitive functions. Perhaps one of the most personally relevant discoveries in modern sleep science relates to the relationship between sleep and emotional regulation, not just processing past emotions, which we've discussed, but managing present emotional reactions. Research showed that even partial sleep deprivation, getting just 4 to 5 hours instead of 8, increases activity in the amygdala by up to 60% when people view emotionally negative images, while simultaneously reducing connectivity between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex that normally regulates emotional responses. In practical terms, this means that when you're sleep deprived, you're both more reactive to negative stimuli and less capable of modulating that reactivity. Things that would normally be minor annoyances feel like major provocations. Disappointments feel like catastrophes. Your emotional volume is turned up while your ability to apply perspective and regulation is turned down. Studies of couples in conflict showed that when both partners were well rested, they used more productive communication strategies and reported higher relationship satisfaction, while sleep-deprived couples showed increased hostility, less empathy, and poorer conflict resolution. Sleep, it turns out, isn't just about individual health, it's about social functioning, emotional intelligence, and the quality of our relationships. And so we've learned how sleep sculpts your brain each night, replaying experiences in compressed time, strengthening what matters while pruning what doesn't, rebalancing overloaded synapses, integrating scattered memories into coherent understanding. We've seen how memories tagged as important receive special treatment in the night, how external cues can guide the sleeping brain's consolidation work, and how that bizarre dreamscape where past and present merge might be the visible surface of deep integration happening below. We've discovered that sleep makes you smarter, more emotionally balanced, better able to learn and solve problems and navigate relationships with grace. All of this work is about to begin, or perhaps has already begun, as your own brain settles into its nightly routine. Can you feel it? The gentle rebalancing, the quiet sorting, the synapses releasing their excessive grip, making room for tomorrow's learning. Your hippocampus preparing to replay today's important moments, your emotional centers cooling and recalibrating, your prefrontal cortex settling into its restorative quietness. Trust this process. It has refined itself over millions of years, and it knows exactly what you need. As we drift deeper into the science of sleep, we arrive at discoveries that illuminate some of the most mysterious aspects of human consciousness, the boundary between sleeping and waking, and the strange experiences that sometimes occur when that boundary becomes blurred. One of the most unsettling sleep phenomena that researchers have investigated is sleep paralysis, a condition experienced by approximately 8% of people at least once in their lifetime, and much more frequently by those with irregular sleep schedules. During sleep paralysis, a person awakens mentally but remains physically paralyzed, often experiencing vivid and frightening hallucinations, a sense of an ominous presence in the room, pressure on the chest, difficulty breathing, sometimes even the sensation of being held down by a malevolent entity. For centuries, these experiences were interpreted as supernatural visitations, demons, ghosts, alien abductions. But sleep science revealed a simpler, though equally fascinating, explanation. Sleep paralysis occurs when the mind awakens from REM sleep before the body's REM atonia, that protective paralysis we've discussed, has released. You're conscious, aware of your surroundings, but still experiencing the muscle inhibition that prevented you from acting out your dreams. The hallucinations arise because the REM dream-generating systems are still partially active even as your conscious awareness returns, creating a terrifying hybrid state where dream imagery overlays waking perception. Episodes typically last only 1 to 3 minutes, though to the person experiencing them, time can feel distorted and each second feels much longer. The investigation of sleep paralysis revealed something important about the transitions between sleep stages. They're not always clean switches but can sometimes be incomplete or confused. Another condition that illustrates this is sleepwalking, or somnambulism, which affects about 4% of adults and up to 17% of children. Contrary to popular belief, sleepwalking doesn't occur during REM sleep. If it did, the paralysis would prevent movement. Instead, it occurs during deep, slow-wave sleep, particularly during the transition out of deep sleep in the first third of the night. What happens is a partial arousal. The motor systems and the parts of the brain controlling movement wake up and become active, but the consciousness and memory systems remain asleep. The person can walk, navigate around obstacles, sometimes even perform complex behaviors like opening doors or rearranging objects, all while remaining profoundly asleep and forming no memory of the event. Brain imaging of sleepwalkers showed that during episodes, the motor cortex and the regions controlling movement are highly active, while the prefrontal cortex and other areas associated with awareness remain in a sleep state. It's a dissociated brain, different regions operating at different levels of consciousness simultaneously. These strange hybrid states of consciousness led researchers to a broader understanding. Wakefulness and sleep aren't binary states but complex combinations of neural subsystems that can be independently active or inactive. This insight connected to fascinating research on microsleeps, brief episodes lasting just a few seconds where the brain slips into sleep even though the person appears to be awake. Studies of sleep-deprived individuals performing simple tasks showed that their brains would have periods where some regions suddenly showed the slow-wave patterns characteristic of sleep while other regions remained active and wakeful. During these microsleeps, which the person often doesn't consciously notice, performance on tasks dramatically deteriorates, reaction times slow, attention lapses, errors multiply. This explained the extreme danger of drowsy driving. A person might feel they're awake and alert, but portions of their brain are literally falling asleep for seconds at a time. At highway speeds, A 3-second microsleep means the vehicle travels the length of a football field with a partially sleeping brain in control. Studies found that drowsy driving causes an estimated 100,000 crashes annually in the United States alone, resulting in 1,500 deaths, making it comparably dangerous to drunk driving. The understanding of these fragmented consciousness states opened new perspectives on the nature of awareness itself, but it also led to practical discoveries about how sleep affects physical health in ways beyond the brain. Research into sleep and the immune system revealed remarkable connections. During deep sleep, the body increases production of certain cytokines, proteins that help fight infection and inflammation. Studies showed that people who slept less than 6 hours per night were 4 times more likely to develop a cold when exposed to the virus compared to those who slept 7 hours or more. The mechanism involves T cells, crucial components of the immune system that recognize and attack infected cells. During sleep, particularly slow-wave sleep, T cells' ability to adhere to and destroy infected cells increases significantly. Even a single night of poor sleep reduces this immune function measurably. This explains why you often feel tired and want to sleep when you're fighting an infection. It's not just that illness makes you feel fatigued, but that sleep is actively part of your immune response, and your body is wisely prioritizing the healing power of rest. The relationship between sleep and physical health extended to metabolic function as well. One of the most striking discoveries in recent sleep research relates to how even modest sleep restriction affects hunger hormones and metabolism. When healthy adults were restricted to just 4 to 5 hours of sleep per night for less than a week, their levels of leptin, a hormone that signals fullness and satiety, decreased by about 18%, while levels of ghrelin, a hormone that stimulates appetite, increased by about 28%. The result was a significant increase in hunger and appetite, particularly for high-calorie, carbohydrate-rich foods. But the effects went beyond just feeling hungrier. Sleep restriction also impaired the body's ability to process glucose, with some studies showing that just 1 week of sleep restriction could produce glucose and insulin responses similar to those seen in prediabetes. The pancreas had to produce 30% more insulin to achieve the same blood sugar control, indicating reduced insulin sensitivity. This helped explain the strong epidemiological connection between chronic short sleep and increased risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes. Insufficient sleep fundamentally alters metabolic function in ways that promote weight gain and insulin resistance. These metabolic discoveries connected to research on sleep timing and its effects on health. Scientists studying shift workers, people whose work schedules require them to be awake at night and sleep during the day, found alarming health patterns. Shift workers showed significantly increased rates of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, and certain cancers compared to day workers, even when controlling for other lifestyle factors. The culprit appeared to be circadian misalignment. Being awake and eating when the body's internal clock expects sleep creates a state of chronic physiological conflict. Every cell in your body contains circadian clock genes that regulate when various metabolic processes should occur. When you eat a meal at 3 a.m., your digestive system, liver, and pancreas are in nighttime mode, not prepared to efficiently process food. Studies showed that eating identical meals at different times of day produced different metabolic responses. The same meal eaten at night caused higher blood glucose and lower insulin sensitivity than when eaten during the day. This research suggested that not only how much you sleep, but when you sleep relative to your circadian rhythm, profoundly affects health. Even people getting adequate sleep duration but at irregular or circadian inappropriate times show increased health risks. The investigation of circadian timing led to discoveries about light exposure's powerful effects on health beyond just sleep timing. Researchers found that light exposure isn't just important in the evening and morning for setting circadian rhythms. The total amount and timing of light throughout the day matters significantly. People who received more bright light exposure during the day, particularly in the morning, showed stronger circadian rhythms, better nighttime sleep, and improved mood. Conversely, people with low daytime light exposure, those who spend most of their time indoors in relatively dim artificial light, showed weaker circadian rhythms and more sleep difficulties. The contrast matters. Bright light during the day strengthens the circadian signal, making the evening transition to darkness more effective at triggering melatonin and sleep. Studies of office workers found that those who worked near windows with natural daylight exposure slept an average of 46 minutes more per night and reported better sleep quality and daytime functioning than those working in windowless environments. The light-dark contrast, the daily rhythm of bright and dim, is as important to healthy sleep as the total amount of darkness at night. Perhaps one of the most thought-provoking recent discoveries relates to the very question we began with: why do we dream? A new theory, proposed by researchers studying the visual cortex, suggests that dreams might serve to prevent the visual system from being taken over by other senses during the long hours of darkness. In people who are blind from birth, the visual cortex, having no visual input to process, gets recruited by other senses, particularly touch and hearing, a phenomenon called cross-modal plasticity. The researchers theorized that in sighted people, REM sleep dreams provide regular activation of the visual cortex throughout the night, essentially defending this neural territory from encroachment. This would explain why dreams are so overwhelmingly visual, why even people who are blind later in life continue to have visual dreams based on memories, and why the amount of REM sleep is highest in childhood when the brain is most plastic and vulnerable to reorganization. Dreams, by this account, aren't primarily about processing memories or emotions, though they may do those things too, but about maintaining the functional organization of the brain itself. Each night's dreams are the visual cortex exercising, maintaining its claim to its neural space, preventing the relentless plasticity of the brain from reorganizing it away. It's a theory still being tested, but it offers a beautifully elegant possibility. We dream to remain ourselves, to keep our brains organized in the ways that make us human. And so we've explored the strange border territories, the frightening moments when paralysis outlasts sleep, when movement occurs without awareness, when consciousness fractures into microsleeps that scatter through waking moments. We've learned how sleep strengthens your immune defenses, how it regulates the hormones that govern hunger and metabolism, how timing matters as much as duration, and how light throughout the day shapes the darkness of your night. We've even glimpsed a new understanding of why dreams paint such vivid pictures, perhaps to keep your visual world intact, to maintain the architecture of perception itself. All these systems are preparing now, or already engaged, as you drift deeper into sleep's embrace. Your immune cells mobilizing, your metabolic systems recalibrating, your visual cortex soon to kindle with dreams that stake its claim to remain visual. Nothing is wasted in these hours. Nothing is idle. Every system has its work, its purpose, its contribution to tomorrow's you. As we continue our gentle exploration through the science of sleep, we arrive at discoveries about how sleep shapes not just individual health, but human development across the entire lifespan, from before birth through old age. Each stage of life brings its own unique relationship with sleep and dreams. One of the most remarkable findings in developmental sleep research is that babies in the womb spend an extraordinary amount of time in a state resembling REM sleep. Studies using ultrasound and monitoring of fetal brain activity revealed that by the third trimester of pregnancy, fetuses spend approximately 12 to 14 hours per day in active sleep, a state characterized by rapid eye movements, irregular breathing patterns, and frequent body movements, all hallmarks of REM sleep. This is even more striking when you consider that newborns spend about 8 hours in REM sleep per day, and adults only about 90 minutes to 2 hours. The developing brain appears to have an intense need for REM sleep, leading researchers to theorize that REM sleep plays a crucial role in brain development itself. During fetal and infant REM sleep, the brain shows remarkable activity. Neurons are forming new connections at an astonishing rate, with the infant brain creating approximately 700 new neural connections every second during the first few years of life. REM sleep might provide the neural activation necessary to support this explosive growth, stimulating developing circuits and helping to organize the emerging architecture of the mind. This understanding of REM sleep's developmental role connected to discoveries about infant sleep patterns and why they differ so dramatically from adult sleep. Newborns don't enter sleep through the same progression adults do. They often enter REM sleep directly, without passing through the lighter stages first, and their sleep cycles are much shorter, only 50 to 60 minutes instead of 90. Their day-night rhythm is also undeveloped. Newborns sleep in fragmented periods distributed throughout the 24-hour day, with no preference for nighttime sleep. This isn't dysfunction, it's developmental appropriateness. The suprachiasmatic nucleus, that master circadian clock we discussed earlier, isn't fully functional at birth. It takes approximately 3 to 4 months for infants to develop a clear circadian rhythm that consolidates sleep into longer nighttime periods. This explains the exhaustion of new parents. They're not just sleep-deprived, they're living without circadian structure. Their sleep fragmented into unpredictable chunks at all hours. But it also reveals something profound. The ability to sleep in a consolidated block through the night isn't innate, it's a developmental achievement that the brain must mature into. As children grow beyond infancy, their sleep needs remain substantially higher than adults, though they decrease gradually. Research tracking sleep across childhood found that toddlers typically need 11 to 14 hours of total sleep, including naps, while school-age children need 9 to 11 hours, and teenagers need 8 to 10 hours. But here's where modern society creates a problematic mismatch. While teenagers' biological sleep need remains high, their circadian rhythm shifts later during puberty, as we discussed earlier, making them naturally want to stay up until 11 p.m. or midnight. Yet most school systems require teenagers to wake by 6 or 6:30 a.m., creating a situation where it's biologically nearly impossible for adolescents to get adequate sleep on school nights. Studies measuring actual sleep duration in teenagers found that the average high school student gets only 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep per night during the school week, a chronic sleep deficit of 1.5 to 3 hours per night. The consequences are significant. Adolescent sleep deprivation is associated with increased rates of depression, anxiety, obesity, reduced academic performance, and higher rates of car accidents among teen drivers. Some school districts that shifted to later start times, beginning school at 8:30 a.m. or later instead of 7:30 a.m., saw remarkable improvements. Students slept approximately 45 to 55 minutes longer on school nights, showed improved attendance, better grades, reduced tardiness, and even decreased rates of teen car crashes in the community. The recognition that development requires sleep led researchers to investigate what happens when that sleep is disrupted in childhood. Studies of children with sleep disorders, particularly sleep apnea from enlarged tonsils and adenoids, revealed concerning patterns. These children showed difficulties with attention, impulse control, and learning, symptoms that sometimes mimicked attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. When the sleep disorder was treated and sleep quality improved, many of these cognitive and behavioral symptoms resolved or significantly improved. This suggested that some proportion of childhood behavioral and learning difficulties might actually be manifestations of sleep disorders rather than primary psychiatric or neurological conditions. The developing brain appears to be particularly vulnerable to sleep disruption, requiring consistent, high-quality sleep to support the enormous task of building cognitive and emotional capabilities. Moving through the lifespan, researchers discovered that middle adulthood brings its own sleep challenges, many related to the life circumstances of this period. Parents of young children show chronically disrupted sleep for years. Studies following parents from their child's birth through age 6 found that mothers' sleep duration decreased by approximately 40 minutes per night and didn't return to pre-pregnancy levels even 6 years later, while fathers' sleep decreased by about 13 minutes per night. But beyond parental sleep disruption, middle age itself brings changes in sleep architecture. Starting around age 40, people begin to show gradual decreases in deep, slow-wave sleep and increased nighttime awakenings. The first cycle of deep sleep becomes shorter, and later cycles may contain almost no deep sleep at all. This shift accelerates in older adulthood, contributing to the common complaint among older adults that their sleep feels less refreshing even when they spend adequate time in bed. The changes in sleep architecture with aging connected to another important discovery about older adults and circadian rhythms. Research found that as people age, their circadian rhythm tends to shift earlier, what chronobiologists call an advanced phase. Older adults naturally become sleepy earlier in the evening, often around 8 or 9 p.m., and wake earlier in the morning, sometimes 4 or 5 a.m., even without intending to. This isn't insomnia, though it's often experienced as such. It's a shift in circadian timing. The amplitude of the circadian rhythm also decreases with age. The daily swings in body temperature, hormone levels, and alertness become less pronounced. Studies measuring core body temperature across the day showed that older adults have a smaller temperature variation from peak to trough compared to younger adults. Their rhythm flattens. This flattening might explain why older adults are more vulnerable to circadian disruption and why they often report feeling less alert during the day and less deeply asleep at night. The biological clock, it seems, gradually loses some of its strength with age, creating gentler rhythms that are more easily disturbed. Despite these age-related changes, older adults who maintain good sleep demonstrate remarkable cognitive resilience. Studies tracking cognitive aging found that older adults who consistently got 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night showed significantly slower rates of cognitive decline compared to those who slept less than 6 hours or more than 9 hours. A U-shaped relationship where both too little and too much sleep correlated with poorer cognitive outcomes. The quality of sleep mattered enormously. Older adults with more fragmented sleep, frequent awakenings, and less slow-wave sleep showed faster accumulation of beta amyloid in the brain and greater risk of developing dementia. But those who maintained relatively efficient, consolidated sleep, falling asleep quickly, staying asleep, and getting adequate deep sleep, preserved cognitive function much better. This suggested that while some age-related sleep changes are inevitable, protecting sleep quality remains crucial throughout life, perhaps increasingly so as we age. The research into aging and sleep led to investigations of the relationship between sleep and longevity itself. Large epidemiological studies tracking tens of thousands of people over many years found a consistent pattern. People who regularly slept 7 to 8 hours per night had the lowest mortality rates. Both short sleep, consistently less than 6 hours, and long sleep, more than 9 hours, were associated with increased mortality risk, though the reasons differed. Short sleep appeared to increase mortality through the mechanisms we've discussed: impaired immune function, metabolic dysregulation, increased inflammation, and cardiovascular stress. But long sleep's association with higher mortality was more puzzling and appeared to be largely a marker of underlying health problems rather than a cause. People sleeping very long hours were often doing so because of undiagnosed illness, depression, or poor sleep quality that required extended time in bed to achieve adequate rest. The sweet spot, consistently across cultures and populations, was 7 to 8 hours of sleep duration with good sleep efficiency, falling asleep within 15 to 20 minutes and staying asleep for most of the night with minimal awakenings. And so we've traced the arc of sleep across human life, from the REM-rich sleep of the developing fetal brain, creating 700 neural connections every second, through the gradual consolidation of infant sleep into nighttime patterns, the sleep-deprived years of adolescence fighting against biology and school bells, the disrupted sleep of parents and the gradual changes of middle age, to the advanced and flattened rhythms of older adulthood. We've learned that protecting sleep protects the mind across all the years, that 7 to 8 hours remains the foundation of health from youth through age, and that sleep needs shift and change but never disappear, remaining essential from the first breath to the last. Perhaps you find yourself somewhere along this arc, your own sleep shaped by your own stage of life, your own challenges and rhythms. Whatever your age, whatever your circumstances, your body still seeks that 7 to 8 hours, that deep restorative darkness, that cycling through the stages your brain requires. And it's reaching for that now, pulling you gently downward, asking for what it needs, what it has always needed, what it will always need as long as you live. As we near the end of our journey through the science of sleep and dreams, we arrive at some of the most recent and forward-looking discoveries, insights that are reshaping how we think about optimizing sleep and understanding the future of sleep science itself. In recent years, researchers have turned their attention to what they call sleep hygiene, the behaviors and environmental factors that promote healthy sleep. While the term sounds clinical, the discoveries have been remarkably practical. Studies examining the sleep environment found that temperature plays a more crucial role than most people realize. the body's core temperature naturally drops by about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit as you prepare for sleep, and this temperature decline is actually a signal that helps initiate sleep. Research found that the optimal bedroom temperature for sleep is quite cool, between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or approximately 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. When the room is too warm, it interferes with the body's natural temperature drop and can fragment sleep, particularly reducing the amount of deep, slow-wave sleep and REM sleep. This explained why people often sleep poorly in hot weather or overly heated rooms. They're fighting against their body's need to cool down for sleep. The investigation of sleep environment extended to other factors as well. Studies of bedroom light exposure revealed that even small amounts of light during sleep can disrupt sleep quality and circadian rhythms. Researchers found that exposure to just 10 lux of light during sleep, roughly equivalent to a night light or the ambient light from a street lamp through curtains, was enough to reduce deep sleep and cause more frequent arousals. The mechanism involves specialized cells in the retina that detect light and send signals to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, essentially telling your brain it's still daytime even when your eyes are closed. Even more concerning, studies found that people who slept in rooms with more ambient light exposure showed increased rates of depression, obesity, and cardiovascular disease over time. The solution was remarkably simple: making the bedroom as dark as possible with blackout curtains or eye masks produced measurable improvements in sleep quality and morning alertness. Sound emerged as another critical environmental factor. While many people assume they adapt to noise and it doesn't affect their sleep, studies using EEG monitoring told a different story. Even when people didn't consciously wake or remember disturbances, noise during sleep caused frequent shifts to lighter sleep stages and brief arousals that fragmented sleep architecture. Traffic noise, aircraft noise, and even a snoring partner created these sleep disruptions. Interestingly, it's not just the volume of sound that matters, but the variability and unpredictability. Studies found that constant white noise or pink noise, steady, uniform sounds, could actually improve sleep by masking sudden, variable noises that would otherwise cause arousals. People who slept with white noise machines showed fewer sleep stage transitions and reported feeling more rested, particularly in noisy urban environments. As researchers cataloged these environmental factors, they also investigated behavioral practices that support or undermine sleep. One of the most consistent findings related to pre-sleep routines and the importance of what researchers call the wind-down period. Studies found that people who engaged in relaxing activities for 30 to 60 minutes before bed, reading, gentle stretching, meditation, warm baths, fell asleep faster and experienced better sleep quality than those who remained mentally or physically active until the moment they got into bed. The mechanism appears to involve both physiological and psychological factors. A warm bath, for instance, causes blood vessels in the extremities to dilate, which helps lower core body temperature as heat radiates from the skin, supporting that natural temperature drop needed for sleep. Psychologically, a consistent wind-down routine serves as a series of cues that signal to the brain that sleep is approaching, much like the dimming of lights at a theater signals the show is about to begin. The research into sleep optimization also revealed important findings about the relationship between exercise and sleep. Regular physical activity emerged as one of the most powerful interventions for improving sleep quality. people who exercised regularly fell asleep an average of 10 to 15 minutes faster and increased their total sleep time by 15 to 20 minutes per night compared to sedentary individuals. But the timing of exercise mattered. Vigorous exercise within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime could delay sleep onset in some people, likely because it raises core body temperature and increases arousal hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. However, this effect varied considerably between individuals. Some people sleep better after evening exercise, while others sleep worse. Morning or afternoon exercise showed the most consistent sleep benefits across different people, with additional advantages of supporting circadian rhythm alignment and increasing the amount of deep, slow-wave sleep. These practical discoveries about optimizing sleep connected to emerging research on what scientists call sleep banking, the idea of building up extra sleep before a period of expected sleep deprivation. Studies of athletes and military personnel showed that extending sleep to 9 to 10 hours per night for several days before a period of restricted sleep helped protect against some of the cognitive and performance impairments that sleep deprivation normally causes. It's not perfect protection. You can't fully immunize yourself against sleep loss, but having a reserve of sleep did provide measurable benefits. Conversely, research confirmed that trying to catch up on sleep debt by sleeping very long hours on weekends, while better than nothing, doesn't fully reverse the metabolic and cognitive effects of chronic weekday sleep restriction. The body and brain function best with consistent sleep duration night after night, rather than dramatic swings between restriction and recovery. As we look toward the future of sleep science, researchers are exploring exciting new frontiers. One emerging area involves using technology to enhance sleep quality actively. Scientists have developed systems that detect when someone enters deep, slow-wave sleep and then deliver gentle auditory tones synchronized to the slow brain waves. These pink noise tones, timed precisely to match the rhythm of slow waves, appear to amplify those waves, making them larger and more robust. Studies showed that this auditory stimulation increased the amount and quality of slow-wave sleep and improved next-day memory performance. It's a form of sleep enhancement, using technology not to replace sleep or reduce the need for it, but to make sleep more efficient and restorative. Similarly, researchers are investigating targeted temperature manipulation, cooling the brain slightly during sleep to enhance deep sleep, and exploring how gentle vibrations or other sensory stimuli might be used to guide the sleeping brain into more restorative states. Another frontier involves personalized sleep medicine, recognizing that sleep needs and optimal sleep patterns vary between individuals based on genetics, age, health status, and lifestyle. Rather than prescribing universal recommendations, researchers envision a future where sleep interventions are tailored to individual biology. Wearable devices that track sleep are becoming increasingly sophisticated, able to measure heart rate variability, body temperature, movement, and even estimate sleep stages with reasonable accuracy. These devices are generating enormous datasets that researchers can analyze to understand patterns and identify what works best for different types of people. Some studies are exploring genetic testing to identify people's chronotype, caffeine metabolism rate, and sleep sensitivity, allowing for truly personalized sleep recommendations. The vision is sleep medicine that recognizes you as an individual with unique needs rather than applying one-size-fits-all advice. And now, as we draw near the close of our time together, let's gather the threads of this long journey through the science of sleep and dreams. We began 100 facts ago with the discovery of REM sleep in 1953, those dancing eyes beneath closed lids that opened the door to understanding. We learned of the 90-minute cycles that structure every night, the progression from light to deep to dreaming sleep, each stage essential, each serving functions we're only beginning to fully comprehend. We discovered that sleep is not rest but activity, the brain replaying memories at high speed, consolidating learning, processing emotions, washing away toxic proteins, rebalancing synaptic connections, maintaining the very architecture of the mind. We learned that dreams, those strange nightly hallucinations, might exist to preserve our visual cortex, to simulate threats, to recombine memories in creative ways, or perhaps all of these things and more. We traced sleep across evolution, finding it in fruit flies and dolphins and bats, across development from the REM-rich sleep of the fetus to the advanced rhythms of age, across cultures and across time. We learned how electric light disrupted ancient patterns, how modern life creates chronic sleep debt and social jet lag, how shift work and irregular schedules extract their toll on health and longevity. We explored the chemistry of sleep, adenosine building pressure through the day, melatonin rising with darkness, orexin maintaining wakefulness, a symphony of neurotransmitters in delicate balance. We learned of disorders that reveal the system's complexity, sleep apnea fragmenting rest, narcolepsy erasing boundaries between wake and sleep, sleep paralysis trapping consciousness in a paralyzed body. We discovered sleep's profound effects on health, strengthening immunity, regulating metabolism and hunger hormones, processing emotions, enhancing creativity, supporting relationships, protecting cognitive function across the lifespan. We learned that 7 to 8 hours isn't arbitrary but optimal, that consistency matters as much as duration, that timing with your circadian rhythm shapes whether sleep heals or harms. And we ended with hope, with practical knowledge about temperature and darkness and sound, about wind-down routines and exercise timing, about sleep banking and personalized approaches, about emerging technologies that might help us sleep more deeply and wake more restored. 100 facts, woven together into a single story. Sleep is not optional, not expendable, not wasteful. It is fundamental, essential, precious. It is the foundation of health, the workshop of memory, the sanctuary of emotion, the guardian of consciousness itself. And now, having learned all this, having understood all this, the best thing you can do is surrender to it. Stop thinking about sleep and simply sleep. Trust your brain to do what it has evolved to do across millions of years. Trust the adenosine that has built up through this long journey of listening. Trust your circadian rhythm, aligned with the darkness around you. Trust the systems preparing to carry you through the cycles, through light sleep and deep sleep and REM sleep, through dreams you may remember or may forget, but which serve you regardless. Let go of the day that has passed. Let go of the thoughts that chase through your mind. Let go of any effort, any striving, any trying. Sleep cannot be forced or achieved through willpower. It can only be allowed, welcomed, received as a gift. Your breath is slowing. Your body is heavy. Your mind is quiet. The journey through sleep stages is beginning or has already begun. 90 minutes from now, you'll complete the first cycle. 90 minutes after that, another. Through the night, 4, 5, maybe 6 complete journeys through the architecture of sleep, each one restoring you, healing you, preparing you for tomorrow. But you don't need to think about any of that. You don't need to count cycles or monitor stages. Your brain knows what to do. It has always known. From before you were born until this very moment, sleep has been your constant companion, your nightly refuge, your trusted healer. So rest now. Sleep now. Let the science fade into the background and let nature take its course. Sweet dreams, dear listener. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the science of why we dream, why we sleep, why we need these quiet hours of darkness and restoration. May your sleep be deep, your dreams be gentle, and your morning be bright. Good night.